Buenos Cameron Diaz, welcome to pedroTV and welcome to the ESP Gallery in Marrickville. I'm here for my friend's exhibition, Lou Steer. How are you, Lou?
I'm very well, Penny.
That's the way. You're enjoying a glass of bubbly, I see.
This is my trademark.
Hey, tell me what's the title of the show?
It's called Journeys Not Destinations, and it's in two parts. My part is Wild Red Heart, which is about my trips to Central Australia, and the other journey is Tickets to Recollection, which is about memory and greener, softer landscapes.
Yeah, but
by Felicity Martin, who is my daughter.
Okay, a mother-daughter exhibition, fantastic. Now we're going to follow you around, you're going to explain all the work. So come along, people, and check out Lou and Felicity's work, okay? Cut. Lou, come on.
Okay, these are paintings which relate to Central Australia, and they're quite formal paintings, but in the abstract style. This one's Swimming at Red Bank Gorge. This one is the Amadeus Lakes. I named this after a porcupine tree song.
Have you actually been to these actual places?
I flew over these in a plane, which is about the best way to see them because it's very inhospitable country.
Right.
But I really did swim in Red Bank Gorge.
Okay.
And that's exactly what it looks like because it is so cold and dark and deep that when you're in there, it's very, you get numb all over and you don't know really what's under the surface, so it's quite a trip to swim in those billabongs. This is a fun piece called Platypliers, which is a collaborative work with Cassie Dorr, who also curated this exhibition. And Cassie invented this mythical creature for her PhD, and this work is in support of her body of work, but it's also become my body of work, and it's in the rock painting style, but it's not really a rock painting, as you can see.
Now here's one of my favourite works, which I'm hoping we'll be able to come to an arrangement. Tell me about this circular...
This one is Stargate South. When you go to Central Australia at night, and you look up at the sky at night, you've never seen so many stars in your life. It is absolutely fantastic. And so this is based on the constellations that you actually do see in the southern sky. And these metal pieces are glued on, and it's an attempt to represent what you see when you look at when you're in your swag.
It's beautiful.
That's when you're supposed to be swimming. Stay there while Grandma hits the camera.
Okay, carry on.
Now the sculptures are complementary to the body of work. I did these studying under Dave Horton at the National Art School, who taught me everything I know about welding. And these are made out of recycled steel. They're organic shapes. The circle and the curved triangle are my favourite shapes, so I use those a lot. As you can see, here's some curved triangles here in this work, which is called Empty Vessel. And they're very feminine shapes, and I have to say all the people who bought my work were women, so they were clearly responding to the femininity of my work, because even though I use industrial techniques and industrial work, the woman keeps coming out. Them unstretched. It was a bit of a risk to do that, but I made that as an artistic decision because I wanted people to have the experience of what it was like to work on the Finke River. And they're all done in water-soluble oils, which is a fantastic thing to take when you're out in the field because you get all the advantages of things like barramundi green curry. And
so you were eating barramundi, so it was a very tough experience.
Camel and date sausages.
Yeah, okay.
Kangaroo kebabs.
This one here, Lou, this very earthy colour again.
This is the Pakuta Ranges again, and there is a legend about the Pakuta Ranges. It's not a sacred site because there's no fresh water there, so the Aborigines have never really lived in this area, and none of them painted. But they do have a legend that it's women dancing across the hills, because when you see the Pakuta Ranges, they're very deeply grooved, which is why the light is so fascinating on the hills. So what I did was I painted the ridges running across, and then I painted the women dancing as lines, undulating lines, because I imagined them as a bunch of women undulating across.
Women are normally fairly curvy, Lou. That's right.
That's right.
Curvy, wavy. Yeah, we like that.
So that's why this one is called Women Dancing.
Now I'm just going to try and capture some film of the camp. As we look at the camp, no boundaries. This is you're having a, you know.
This is my film, No Rules, and it's the film of what we actually did on the camp. And all these things are capped on the...
Oh, I love that. I love that arch. Look at that arch. That's amazing.
That's a natural archway on the Fink River.
Wow.
And it's like the Wall of China. You can just walk up there quite easily and go through it. This is a rusty car that was dumped a long time ago.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's why it's not an alien
cool. That's so abstract. That is so...
And it is absolutely abstract with the fantastic rust patterns on it.
Yeah, look at that.
And it's great. It's been completely stripped and everything else, but now it's become part of the landscape itself.
Yeah, look at that.
And it's got that dirty old red colour, and it looks really great.
Fantastic. Okay, Lou. Now here you got some lovely, exquisite cases with your jewellery inside.
Well, I've got to give Felicity Martin credit for these.
Just flick some of this.
Because she made these, but she's made them to represent Central Australia at my request. So this one is called Pakuta, after the Pakuta Ranges.
And the rocks or the gems come from where?
I don't know.
Where they come from? Oh, they're not from there.
They're not from there.
Okay.
But it represents the colours. So it's turquoise and amethyst with lampwork beads. This one is called Larapinta, because the ranges there are the Larapinta ranges, and the trail is the Larapinta Trail. So that's lava and amethyst.
Amethyst, yeah, lovely.
And that represents... all of these really represent the afternoon lights, because that's what you see. And this one's Araluen, which is the local name for Alice Springs. And this one is Unakite and turquoise. Unakite is a very earthy stone.
So do you guys wear these necklaces when you go out, or...?
Well, yes, we do.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so we...
So I expect to see you swatting around Sydney with amethysts and...
amethysts and lava and all that, and unakite.
And turquoises.
Those kind of things, yes.
Beautiful, Lou, beautiful.
Yes, we like using semi-precious stones because of the earthy look.
Great.
This I have to talk about. This is really, really special.
Your magic stick?
And why it's special is because Charlie cut this red river gum branch for me so that I could walk the Ormiston Ranges. I could do the Ormiston Pound.
So that was your walking stick?
The Ormiston Pound is an 8-hour walk, and it's very rough. There's a couple of kilometres of rocks at the end as you walk back towards the gorge. And I couldn't do it without this stick. And I hadn't come prepared. So...
Come on, put the hat on,
This was the glamorous look
Excellent.
of a bushwoman.
Well, no, man, that's an Australian artist.
And the markings on this stick are very special. It represents the way of the peewee. There's peewee tracks. Peewee tracks. Yeah. And why it's the way of the peewee is because the peewee always finds the most comfortable way to walk across. And I quickly discovered, if you walk across the hot earth, that if you follow the peewee tracks, you won't burn your feet, because they find the easiest way from the route. It tends to be quite a windy way. So that's the other message from the peewee, that the easy way is not always the most direct way to something for art. And these are dingo tracks.
Did you see any dingoes when you were out there?
Yes, I did. They were very skinny. And
didn't hassle you for food or anything?
No. Although one time I was sitting there eating a kangaroo salami sandwich and one came and had a sniff, which was a little bit of a worry. One night I heard terrible screaming that woke me up from the campsite, and it sounded like a woman being murdered. So I was a bit worried that it might be one of my fellows. I got out and looked around and they were all asleep. And what had happened was a couple of dingoes had bailed up a euro, which is a small kangaroo, on the other side of the river. And they were killing it, as they're supposed to do.
Well, they're predators,
And it was fighting back, so it was screaming. That's what the screams were. The euro was screaming. And the dingoes actually didn't make a lot of noise.
Silent assassins.
I didn't hear a dog noise at all.
Wow.
But